Like, I think Gangplank's had, like, pretty high priority.
Yeah,
I know you
GP,
really like the Aatrox.
I like.
Sure.
Although, if I play Aatrox, I'm quite fine playing it to set, so I would lean more towards the GP or maybe an Ornn. Vitality targeting the Pantheon also makes sense, in a way. I feel like it's a really strong triple flex for G2. They can play it in all three positions, even 4 or 5, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, support Pantheon's
it's
come out
G2,
soon.
so you never know. Syndra also really standard red side ban, but this means that both Ornn and Senna will be open for G2 if they please, which both seem really high on the tier list.
Yeah, I've also got to bring up the Karthus in the jungle too, or Jankos rather, loves to pick that one up, and they ban themselves.
They ban away. I think this means that they want to force Vitality to ban the... I mean, they thought that Vitality would give them Senna for Karthus Ornn. Now they would make this trade, and this makes the trade a lot better for G2.
Okay, so with an Aatrox ban here now, that's 2 top laners now. Ornn is up, but G2 decide against that, so they still go for the Senna.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? Because now we've seen a lot of this like support-esque Senna in the bot lane with support that's actually the carry.
I think, especially if you're G2 and you have such talented players that can play a lot of different champions, the Senna opens up so many possibilities for Mikyx to like go ham, or even Caps, I mean. They can both play the Senna and they can both play the weird champions, so this gives them a lot of flexibility.
I just want to say, I saw Senna VOLIBER in the LCK this morning. I am hoping for Senna VOLIBER out of G2 here.
I'm just saying, if any team wants some free wins, just go Senna Kled and you'll win every game. It's so good.
Senna Kled!
We don't all have a Kled one trick on our teams, okay?
I mean, when Hans plays Draven top, I go Kled bot. It's that simple.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
When do you play Draven top? I haven't seen that.
Hans will play it, not me.
Okay.
Ornn LEE SIN, really standard draft, I think. Ornn is really strong on red side. It's a flex as well to top and mid, and LEE SIN is just a really high comfort pick and early game jungler for Skeanz.
Ooh, so now the AKALI comes through. This is an interesting one.
That's not something I would expect. G2 obviously has a plan picking this, but maybe they want to use it to mash into Ornn. Maybe they think that's a good matchup with the Conqueror. She can kind of out-trade him in the long runs. And just run him down on the side lane. So that might be a strategy.
I could see that. Of course, the big change to AKALI being that the R1 is now targeted, so she's in theory much more vulnerable to like a gank earlier on.
But a champion like Ornn can't really abuse that as hard.
Sure.
So in these matchups, like tank melee matchups, it's not as scary as if against your maybe against a Syndra or something.
Yeah.
So matching the REK'SAI pick to the LEE SIN, very good jungle matchup, and then we see G2 going for the misfortune. No, Vitality going for the misfortune.
Yeah, and we've had Mickey in the same position on the caster desk actually talk about the REK'SAI, in particular the blue side REK'SAI, and how it enables you to play through the bottom lane based on the terrain. It's so much easier to get around that bot lane when you are blue team and go through the giant wall on the right side of the map.
For me, it's the opposite. If I play against if I play against REK'SAI, I'm blue side. I feel so scared. He can always end up behind me.
I do want to just raise the possibility. You know, we have Caps, who used to be a mid lane player. There's an AKALI here.
Yes.
Is it possible we see Senna AKALI in the bot lane?
I would not be too shocked if I could say so. I feel like if anyone would do it, it's obviously G2, and they for sure have a plan picking AKALI like this. We see Vitality targeting out the Tahm Kench, which is obviously the most standard champion to pick with Senna, while G2 is targeting the Fresh, which obviously makes sense a bit in a way, because it gives Misfortune a lot of safety, because she can play really far up and then get lanterned out.
He's also one of Jacktroll's most played. Of course, he is
most troll champion.
He's back in the squad for today, replacing Steel back in that support position.
Yes.
And it gives you a lot of pick potential, gives you a lot of safety for the MF. There's the Jarvan ban from Vitality.
Yeah.
So if you're in Vitality's spot right now, obviously there's been a whole lot of support champions banned away here. Like Leona is one of those picks that does pair nicely with the Misfortune. When you see a Senna on the other side, especially early on, like you are going to outrange her up until she gets her stacks for the all-in. Would you like to go for that? Because I think like Ornn TP into bot lane, you have a lot of ability to play around that lane.
I like the Yuumi a lot. I feel like Yuumi kind of gets a free lane playing as Senna. Senna is quite a scaling champion.
Sorry about that. Hit the wrong button there.
I got muted, but Senna is scaling really hard, so by picking Yuumi, you're allowed to get a free lane.
Yeah.
And obviously Yuumi, MF. Okay, didn't go for Yuumi. Why am I talking about this?
I don't know why Ender was trying to censor your opinions there, Finn.
Yeah.
I apologize.
I was trying to cough, and I pressed his cough button instead of my own.
Okay, so they went with the RAKAN, which more in a way it's more like a scaling as well. They just want to look for the fights and not really want the slow laning phase.
It also gives you really good follow-up for the Ornn ultimate.
And LEE SIN can jump in with this furry man jumping in behind him.
Okay, so that's TARIC. So that's probably Senna TARIC bottom lane.
We would assume.
Yeah, we would assume.
You never know, but we would assume.
And we'll see where G2 decide to go for their final pick.
Yeah, because right now you have the AKALI that can, in theory, follow Ornn into both top lane or mid lane if that Ornn decides to flex here. Like, I don't think we've actually seen Saken play the Ornn in that middle lane just yet. He's been all about these sort of mages inside of that.
So we see the Vladimir, which signalizes that they want to put the top and AKALI mid. if they would go Ornn top, it's kind of a matchup where Ornn has a bit of prior early, but then Vladimir outscales him because he can kind of farm for free.
Yeah, that's pretty much how like all Vladimir matchups go for the most part.
He's like chilling, and Ornn is also chilling, and then they just team fight and do their own thing in the team fight. RYZE obviously is a really good matchup into the Vladimir. Has a lot of early pressure, and kinda when he gets mana, he can constantly abuse the Vladimir. So I would assume they want to match the RYZE with the. They want to match the Vladimir with the RYZE and the Ornn into the AKALI. So we might get one of these matching wars where PerkZ and Wunder and Cabochard and Skeanz is running around the map trying to get the proper matchups.
So like we don't even know coming out of Champ Select, even though like Wunder might be on the Vladimir and PerkZ would be on the AKALI, like inside of the game you still have the ability to sort of run around between those two lanes.
It's kind of clear for me that both teams want to mismatch the matchups. They want their own matchups. So both teams are going to make the most so they can get this.
Yeah. Now, how do you feel about this TARIC pick? Because I actually think it's really cool here. It's one of the ones we didn't touch on a whole lot, but like a lot of Vitality's engaged, like the Ornn and everything is super telegraphed. So you see that come in, you can immediately drop that TARIC R, and then Vitality have to like wait out, and then they can't combo the CC with that MF ult.
Yeah, TARIC is a champion that Korea prioritizes really heavily because it's just so strong for team fights. The stuns, the heals, the shields, it just gives so much room for your carries to play their game. And it kind of makes it hard for the enemy. They need to like engage first and then back off.
Yeah.
And then engage again. But it's hard if you have an Ornn because you only have one button, you know? You can't go in and out and in. So I kind of like the pick as well.
Yeah, it's a crazy comp from G2 too, because like you don't have the traditional like engage. You have a whole lot of like dive potential, like coming on a flank.
The silver lining for Vitality is that they have a lot of engage tools. They have the Ornn, they have the RAKAN ult, they have the Lee Sin kick. They have multiple ways to start a fight, so they could theoretically start a fight, bait up the TARIC ult, and then re-engage when it's out.
Yeah, so if you were to take the nameplates off in this game, like which team's composition overall do you actually favor? Because like I think for in terms of like ease of execution, like scaling, reliable DPS, Vitality have a lot of good things going for them.
I do prefer G2's comp though.
Sure.
I think the SENNA's pick right now is a bit stronger than the Ornn, and it's just too much of a power pick that I don't think that Vitality should give it up on the red side. So I'm gonna give it to G2.
You're going to give it to G2.
All right.
I don't think that's too surprising overall, even with the nameplates off. I do want to bring attention to as we jump onto Summoner's Rift. Double exhaust.
Double exhaust.
Here for G2.
That is
Caps
exhausting.
and Mickey.
Obviously.
I didn't realize you were a freak, Ben. I didn't realize that was what was
I'm just a
happening
freak.
here.
I'm playing tanks. So it kind of signalizes that they want to bait the Vitality to go on to them, and then they can use re-engage with their TARIC ult, their double exhaust, and kind of push them back after they make the engage, right?
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense for them to play like this because they want to play far back, and they use poke with the SENNA. They kind of pressuring Vitality to force an engage, and then when they engage, they instantly kite back and then re-engage.
Yeah.
This way, they can never lose the fight because they're just that much stronger with their champions.
And I think especially like the later we get into this game too, like you're talking about the Sen here, like the range she gets, eventually like RYZE is not going to be able to actually get up and touch her unless you're somehow able to lock her down, which is where the double exhaust and the TARIC ulti is going to come into play. So you have this sort of juxtaposition on G2's side with like 3 dive champions on the top side of the map, and then SENNA who's like, I'm so far away, you can't even touch me.
Yeah, I think when the game goes on and on, this RYZE is going to get banished to Shadow Realm of the side lane, and he won't really group much, because if he groups, he's just going to have an awful time playing into G2 comp, so they're going to want to match the... Okay, so what we see now is that they actually just went RYZE mid into the AKALI, but later on in the game, I think they'll match the Vladimir with the RYZE. Because when RYZE gets mana, that's when it actually starts pressuring the Vladimir. But for now, it's kind of fine laning like this.
Yeah, and I think like RYZE 2 will be running Ravenous Hunter in the rune trees, which is like super powerful in those 1v1s. It won't be able to quite match the sustain of a Vladimir, but like the rapid fire DPS should be able to be good.
Let's see if he opts for the Morello buy that some people dislike. But I think this game, I can see a case for it because it helps him on the side lane. Helps with the AKALI healing and the TARIC healing, so I can see... And the Senna.
And the Senna, they all have healing.
And the REK'SAI healing.
Yes, and the Ocean Drake. First. There's so much healing here.
Look at that, that's incredible. You synergized all the different points into one salient point.
Yeah.
Great
so now you can buy Morello and not be called a sinner, I would say. Maybe Ellis would disagree, but that's on him. So it's just quite a standard laning phase here. Obviously, the Senna is not that strong early, so we will see the MF pushing in bot lane. And the RAKAN is looking for engages if the TARIC will overextend in the lane.
And usually what we do here is we talk about the top lane matchup because you're a top laner. But the problem is there's engage in the bottom lane as Mickey is chunked out. And also, Vladimir into Ornn is not the most fun matchup in the world to talk about.
I feel like it'll be more explosiveness around the mid jungle. Here we see REK'SAI going in for the gank.
Yeah, REK'SAI gonna be able to tunnel over. Has the flash up, jumps in, gets 2. That's gonna be a double stun there. Oh no, Comp's in so much trouble.
He was going to wait for just a moment, but in the end he will not fall. Escapes just in time.
That was clutch.
And that's what you get for running double exhaust.
Yeah.
And not ignite.
Yeah, now they're good probably, but I don't think Cobb is too sad about this. They used a lot of resources bot, and he's just gonna run back with his mobile boots to bot lane. The wave is in a...
Yeah, the wave is ruined right now. It's like super frozen against them.
It's not frozen actually. This will bounce back to them because there are 2 casters on the G2 side and just 3 casters on the Vitality side. So this will bounce back, and MF will be able to catch. She'll lose a bit, but not too much. She won't be too sad about
that. That last melee minion like walked into the tower range the last second
just
too.
Just to ruin your points.
Yeah, exactly.
So here we see Wunder having control of the wave. He went for the Doran's ring, which I like. I see a lot of lads go for the Doran's shield, which I think is a bit too safe.
Especially in this matchup,
yes,
right?
especially in this, but even like in matchups like GP, because the Doran shield healing is reduced from range champions, right? And the AP you get from the shield kind of transitions into extra health and extra healing from your Q. So it kind of gives you more sustain in a way.
Yeah. It's like that super good synergy there on the Vladimir. Now, on the other side, Cabochard's running Unsealed Spellbook, which is very common on Ornn, specifically when you're against a ranged matchup.
Yes.
Right? Now, what I wonder is, at level 6, can he switch to Ignite and bring Lee Sin up there to go for kill pressure?
Absolutely. This is the big window for Ornn to make a play. With Ignite against the Vladimir, if you chunk him to like 70% or 80% even and forces the pool, then the Vlad can't walk up because he'll just die straight up.
Yeah, and that's not super hard to do in lane because like you can see how Wunder's posturing right here whenever he gets the blood rush. Like he will step past the minion wave, so if you throw out a Q as the Ornn and get the knock up too, like you put out some decent poke damage.
Yeah, Wunder's playing the same with a lot of confidence. He's walking up, proccing his face, rushing and looking to dodge the Ornn Q, right? But if Ornn would land this Q, this would mean Wunder can get easily punished by an all-in, and he will probably get chunked this way. So it's all about if Wunder can walk up, proc his face rush, and then dodge the Ornn Q. Let's see if that's it. Can I dodge? Can I dodge? Can I dodge?
Oh, and it times out.
It was on cooldown. Never mind. Never mind.
Decided not to use it. I do want to bring attention again to the Senna. It's not farm Senna in the bottom lane. It is the support Senna that we have seen a few times today.
Yeah, I think people have been calling it the fasting Senna.
Fasting Senna. Just to remind everyone it exists. You can see Mikyx has gone for Doran's ring first. He takes most of the farm early on, and Caps just tries to farm up those Spectral Sickle stacks through hitting Jactroll and Comp.
Yeah, and TARIC is no stranger to taking the CS in the bottom lane, because you remember the Sona TARIC days of old?
I don't remember.
Yeah, you had to play through that. Sorry about that.
I mean, it was nice as a top laner. If you play like Hecarim where you into the back line with the TARIC ult and the stun.
Yeah, that's when they're on your team. It's very different when they're
exactly. If you have it on your team, you're really happy. If you're against it, you're very sad. So.
Yeah. Honestly, you doing the sound effects, that reminded me. There's a game at Worlds, I think, that Riv was casting where he did like the whole like neigh as a Hecarim's going in for the team
fight.
fight.
When you play Hecarim to get into character. It helps you play.
I love it. All right.
Now G2 has actually set up a freeze here, and they also called Jankos and PerkZ to defend this freeze. Because what Vitality wants to do now, they want to outpush this with a jungler, but if Jankos and PerkZ is here, they can't do that. So Vitality is in a sticky situation, so what they need to do now, they need to unlock their mid laner so he can move and help them. But they're just gonna take the fight free because they feel confident.
Oh yeah, Jactroll is so low, it's really hard to make this work.
Jumps onto Mikyx, the Ignite goes down, Jactroll's able to dodge back, and then with Jankos here, the Dazzle connects on 2. Trade continuing in as Jankos gets the knocker and sinks in the bangs. Jactroll oversteps, comes next on the menu as Skeanz flashes away.
It's just an absolute disaster for the Vitality bot down here. The wave's in a horrible spot for them. They have no summoners, and the wave and the jungler is died as well. They need to go back to top side.
Yeah, like even if that play lasts even longer, like PerkZ was already roaming down. He has the TP to go as well. Now Saken is level 6 and looking for a play topside. You can see Cabochard did switch over to Ignite, like we were talking about. But no, Vitality can't actually make the play work out, and G2 get off to a big lead early on.
Yeah, I mean, but Jactroll went for his engage, but I feel like they should have known that REK'SAI was around.
I mean, they did know. They literally saw him on vision.
They knew, so it was really cocky by Vitality, but I guess they felt like they had no other choice than to go for the fight. I feel like the best play for them is to just send REK'SAI mid, drop one more wave, and then walk with REK'SAI and RYZE together to bot lane and then help them push it out.
Yeah, it's a longer setup. You probably have to like sack minions on that wave that they were contesting right there, but
it's the best play they can make here because they're in a really rough position, right?
Yeah, and it was a little bit too early too to just say screw it and like recall with your bot lane and swap for the Herald because like that's not going to be on the map for another 30 seconds. So I think going through mid lane first as an option would have been good for them.
Wunder going for the double CDR early. A lot of lads are going for the Sorcerer Shoes, just for the extra buff damage. But he obviously prioritizes this, which kind of allows him to skip the Kindle game, which a lot of people go for. So this tells me he's going to go for more of a Rabadon into Spellbinder build and just look to blow up the enemy backline. Yeah,
do you just like sitting on the Fiendish Codex too, or actually upgrading that into like a Zonia's or something?
I mean, a lot later you'll upgrade that probably, like maybe as a 4th item, but for now you're shielding on the CDR, because obviously getting the CDR, I would assume he has Transcendence, a CDR shard. He actually has Ravenous Hunter secondary, so he doesn't have the Cosmic Insight, but he still has a lot of CDR from his runes. So he's gonna be stacked up with that now.
The Ignite was used in the top lane, really didn't get Cabochard too much.
I think he just wanted to get rid of it so he could use his TP. Because obviously when you have the Ignite, you don't have a teleport. So if a fight would break out bot side that you need to join, if you have Ignite, you're quite stuck in the top lane. If enemy top lane TP is down there, it's not fun for your bot lane.
Well, there's the play you were talking about right there. Wunder using the phase rush to get on out as PerkZ will jump away.
And
that's a flash from AKALI, not to death. Can't see the mid position really. That's a circle.
That's a circle.
I'm sorry.
You can have a look on this screen if you want.
But he's gonna lose 2 waves. Oh, sorry.
We should have told you that it works like that.
Yeah, he's gonna lose 2 waves now, so it's quite nice with his Ryze. Actually, he's gonna use the TP. He won't lose it. Never mind. But still a good window for Vitality to get something back on the map. Now Ryze will be able to push this in and probably get a window, either to base or to help the bot lane to reduce some pressure.
Yeah, it seems really hard to make a play right now. Like, yes, they have a TP on Cabochard in the top lane, but you don't have really like deep vision in bot lane to come in from behind. There's the double exhaust spawned up, level 6s for Caps and Mikyx as well.
I think what I would like Vitality to do now is they would just look to get level 6 on RAKAN, put a deep ward bot somehow. He can like W forward, ward and then E back somehow, just so he can get the ward's gonna time out that we see here. And they just want to force a full-on brawl in the bot side, because right now I think they can actually win these fights. But the longer the game goes on, the Vladimir, the SENNA, they're just gonna scale up and become unkillable at points.
It's also a bit problematic too, because like Skeanz has not been able to do really anything. Like he tried to come into the bot lane to help push out that wave, but Jankos has just legit been taking all the objectives, right? He got the first Ocean Drake, now he's topside without even swapping the bot lane up as well. It feels like Skeanz hasn't even been able to get inside of the river, and that just means there's no pressure coming down on any of the lanes from G2.
Yeah. He's having a rough game. He obviously got counterpicked, and the early game was not going optimally. But now we see a fight in mid lane, a 2v2.
The Skeanz jump forward.
It's a good bait on the Rex W.
Yeah.
PerkZ hit the E, he has ult, he's gonna go in. Or not.
Right, he went in, then he went away.
Yeah.
And they just get out with the realm warp.
Kinda spooked Ryze for no reason there. He just held his ult, and Ryze felt like he was gonna die, so he ulted out. But this was a nice lead for PerkZ.
Yeah. We have got to the 10-minute mark of the game caps. You can see flashing out there in the picture-in-picture. I want to ask you, before you leave us, Finn, coming off the first 10 minutes of this game, who is your expected winner and how do you expect it to play out?
I think G2.
Oh, we might wait a second.
We might wait a second.
And how does this dive go horribly wrong?
Here we go, they're going in. TARIC comes down, they can't kill Caps before the Jankos comes out. Counter teleport from Vitality. Jactroll almost low with the Dawning Shadow at Cabochard.
Oh, no.
Can't land it. Wunder's here now.
Oh,
the dive goes terribly wrong.
I give my salute for Vitality for going for it. It was a valiant effort, but in the end,
PerkZ still wants to go in.
They're just chasing. Wunder.
I see one. Do I see two? Do I see two?
Do you see two? You do? Comp goes down. It could be 3. No, PerkZ going for it. Can't quite get it.
He's very hungry, but he can't get it.
So, how do you think this game's gonna go?
I mean, well, it looks like G2 is in a quite comfortable position. I think they're heavily outscaling, and they have a really strong lead now. So I would assume G2 will be able to clean this out, end this game out cleanly.
And is there anything you want to say to your fans at home before you leave?
I'm really sorry for our performance today. We obviously disappointed a lot of people, and we'll come back next week stronger. I promise.
Of course you will. Thank you so much for joining us, Finn. Been a pleasure working with you.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. Let me hit your cough button. There we go. Thank you so much, man. And we are back to just the two of us, Ender. I miss him already.
Yeah, come back. All right, look at this dive. Skeanz comes in with the TP, but you can already see Jankos and PerkZ on the way, and all the time that G2 can stall out here. Like, looking at this, I'm like, you have TARIC ulti, you have SENNA ult for the big shield too, so Caps doesn't go down. Then he has the Zhonya's to dodge away from Cabo's E. Like, they threw literally everything at him, and it just wasn't gonna work.
PerkZ caught out a little bit as he tries to jump back, but Vitality are here, ready for their first kill of the game. Cap's going to try to trade back because Wunder's on his way down from the top side. The Dazzle lands onto Saken. He's caught out with the last embrace, and now he will be next on the menu. In fact, it's Conk first, Saken second. Skeanz jumps in, and they will get a kill on Mikyx, but you have to feel Skeanz is next up as that's another kill for G2. 12.5 minutes in, they have a 4,000 gold lead, and they are well in control of this game.
Looking very, very good for G2. They brought the whole squad up into the top lane too, so while Cabochard was pushing down bot side and getting some plates, it was G2 bringing everyone up here. Now, Vitality do start off very well. You know, Saken flashes over the wall, they secure the kill, and everything looks great. The problem is, I think with the Glacial Augment slows, like Vitality are slow to get out of here. Comp sort of stuck too.
Yep.
Would love to flash over this wall, but he can't get away, doesn't have the flash available.
See the damage already coming out from Wunder. It's just pretty darn devastating, and Caps shredding through them as well. Caps is sitting at 65 stacks right now at the 13 minimax. He's got all of that extra range and crit chance.
It's a really hard position for Comp to be in, because you figure your Vitality, you get that initial kill, like group up with your team and maybe you can fight your way out, but of course he was late to the party and sort of stuck trying to get around that giant wall, so ended up costing him his life there, not being able to just run the other way and give everything up.
Jactroll now didn't realize that he could be caught out this easily, able to dodge away. The Call of the Forge God is used, but can't quite hit onto Caps. I just want to say, a fasting Senna is not meant to get a huge amount of gold, right, Ender?
I mean, that's the theory.
Means. Okay, because he's currently 1,000 gold ahead of Comp, who has 74, far more than him.
Well, that's the thing. While Caps might not be farming minions, he's farming champions, and specifically Comp. In this one, while the rest of his team is just farming every objective on the map to total control, total dominance for G2 thus far. You can already see, like, the Duskblade came through from Caps, so he is very, very powerful. And the key thing on this fasting Senna is that by going for so many lethality items earlier, like, that's just cheaper than getting yourself like an Infinity Edge or an Essence Tree or any of these items the other meta ADCs are building at the moment. So Caps will be able to get into those and punch out a whole ton of damage.
Wunder did end up finishing the Proto Belt just to prove Finn wrong, because he went for the Fiendish Codex first, of course. And now we see the Hextech Gunblade on PerkZ, showing us that even after the nerfs, AKALI is still pretty powerful in the right hands. That extra energy cost on her 5-point strike really hasn't cost PerkZ too much in this game, but we'll see perhaps if Vitality can find a way back into it. They are 4,000 gold behind. It's a pretty devastating disadvantage, and there's good scaling on the side of G2 as well. Senna, AKALI, Vlad, all late game powerhouses.
Yeah, this is a pretty bread and butter G2 comp, especially on the top side. I think bot side gets a little bit different when you factor in the TARIC ulti and like the cooldowns of that, but like G2 love to play champions that can fight you without necessarily needing your ultimates. A REK'SAI falls into that, and AKALI falls into that as well.
PerkZ knocked back, the chase is on as the Realm Warp comes out, but Skeanz dead before he can even get in it. It was Skeanz who made the play, but it was Jankos and PerkZ who take his life. And now with a Rift Herald spawning in just a couple of seconds' time, they may look down towards that.
Yeah, Jankos has just been all over Skeanz this game, really dominating from, you know, invading, using Tremor Sense to get vision on Skeanz, counterattacking in the bottom lane early on to the objective control. Like, he has really been on fire, and that's like one of the things that makes G2 so scary, because they don't always just blow you out inside of the laning phase, but Jankos, the way that he moves around them, I mean, they have. Yeah. I'm saying they don't always do it, but Jankos, of course, making it so that it looks like there's a pretty big gap, is what I'm trying to say.
It's a worrying trend for Vitality. They did win that one game against Schalke, and then since then they've struggled against most other teams. Had a couple of good games here or there, but I guess G2 is not the opponent that you expect them to be battling in the early game.
Yeah, I think the big thing for Vitality in this game is, because as you said, like big, you know, against their odds in this one, but bringing Jactroll back into the lineup, seeing how he was going to fare here, hasn't been given a great opportunity to show a whole lot. Tons of ganks down towards bot side early on. Comp is going to be 0-3, so, you know, there is the hope here as one of the primary initiators for Vitality that we can see him come with some good plays in the team fights, but it's like, really tough. I mean, no, but these are the things you look for, right? Like, Vitality are trying to make decisions around who actually starts on this roster. While you don't come into this game necessarily expecting a win, you are trying to test different elements of this comp. And I think Jactroll is going to feel a lot of pressure in this game after having Steelback come behind him and really be hungry for this position.
Jankos trying to catch onto Cabochard here. Skeanz is waiting just around the corner, and Cabo will burn his flash. For anyone keeping score at home, Caps is at 80 stacks now, so that's 100 extra range on the Senna. very quick 80 stacks, in my opinion. 17 minutes feels pretty darn fast.
Yeah, we've been definitely like the reverse of spoiled. I don't know what you call that, because like Senna's been farming for so long in our league that she gets these like super low stack counts. So 80 minutes at 80 stacks at 18 minutes is absolutely ridiculous. And that was sort of one of the really insane parts about the G2 comp, is that like RYZE, the primary like DPS tool for Vitality, never going to be able to hit caps anymore. It's just not going to happen. Now they're bringing a Rift Herald into the bot lane at 18 minutes, Medic.
Here we go, charging in. Vitality
And
not in
nobody's
position to answer.
here.
One person is here, Cabochard, the one standing member of Vitality in the bottom lane as the Rift Herald charges in for the inhibitor. We'll take it, Caps on the chase here. Look at the damage. Just so much from Caps already. He's got a Dust Blade, he's got some extra lethality, and it looks like G2 actually walking in.
They're going to get one more charge too. That is just brutal.
Caps is melting through Cabochard, never mind through the rest of Vitality. Caps almost outranging the turret already. Will take down the first Nexus tower of the game. 18.5 minutes in as PerkZ teleports towards the top lane, trying to answer Saken. I don't think Saken overstepped. I think PerkZ just wanted to mop up all of this CS.
Yeah, he doesn't want to lose anything here. Now, that last Rift Herald charge looked absolutely ridiculous. Like, it did way more damage, but that's because the inhib towers actually have 600 HP more than the Nexus towers right there. So that just about one-shot that one with an extra auto attack there from Caps, doing a whole heck of a lot. And now with the Mountain Drake spawning in 15, that will put G2 on Soul Point, the potential to pick up that Mountain Soul at 25 minutes. Assuming,
pretty early.
Assuming that they don't pick up the Vitality Nexus by then.
That's a big assumption to make, Ender. I'm going to be honest. This game doesn't have the hallmarks of an Origin one. I don't feel like we're going past 30 minutes at most this game.
Okay,
I don't feel like
Vitality
we're going past
actually want to fight this. Like, look at the positioning from Jactroll here, right? They pushed out this bot side wave. Jactroll wants to find a flank. He has the flash. It's pretty much now or never for Vitality, because if they die, that also means they give over the Baron to G2.
Yeah, they're also giving up all mid-prio to Wunder, who's just pushing it in. G2 don't even really need to fight this if they don't want to, but when have G2 ever backed down from a Barney? Whenever G2 ever stopped in their tracks to think about their decisions? Jactroll's knocked up immediately. Skeanz gets chased out by PerkZ, and here comes the TP from Wunder. Realm Warp will get 3 members of Vitality out, but the other 2 die. And the Mountain Dragon goes to G2.
Yeah, G2 could just run to Baron right now if they wanted to. Looks like instead they're beelining for that middle lane.
I don't feel like they have the fastest Baron in the world.
They don't, you're right. They have a lethality Senna support-ish fasting build, so I hear you there, Medic. Not going to be the fastest that, but they are pretty quick at taking it down.
And yeah, pretty quick at taking kills. PerkZ going to dive underneath the inhibitor tower as Jankos goes in with a Void Rush. That was a pretty fancy feat there from PerkZ. Jankos almost falls. Caps going low as well, and Caps will be shut down. Cabochard on the chase as he looks to see if he can dodge between PerkZ and Mikyx. He managed that pretty successfully. PerkZ.
Oh my! That is disgusting!
Oh, that's 200 years worth of damage right there. PerkZ gets a double at the end. 5-1 and 2 on the AKALI now, and he's not done. Jumps all the way back with the Shuriken flip. And this will be the second inhibitor tower going down at 20 minutes.
This may be the game. Look, they have double big super minions coming through the bottom lane as well. Jactroll is respawning, so it would be a 4v4 inside of the base if they had wanted to go for it.
They decide against it. Maybe just let the super minions do it. Can Vitality clear those
This is a new version of G2, right? 2019 G2 with PerkZ in the bot lane, Caps in the mid lane. They would have just gone for the Nexus right there, Medic.
Caps as an AD carry has made them more controlled as a team. That is what you are telling me. Wunder now finished his death cap. We'll have another look at this fight around the Dragon.
Yeah, call it that? Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
Jankos
so all Jankos has to do is A-click the ground, and then he auto-knocks up Jactroll.
Really hard
like,
to A-click
I want to tell you that was a sick play by him, but as a REK'SAI player, I'm telling you, like, there's very few mechanics you need to know. In this case, it's just not even accuracy. It's just A-click the ground, and when someone goes over you, you're going to pop up and instantly ruin their day. Then Cabochard gets a little bit up here with Saken, who ends up getting jumped straight on top of. But I will give Cabochard credit. He did turn it around in the end with an Ignite to finish off Caps with that Unsealed Spellbook, which we don't even show. We don't even give him a chance to look good.
No.
That's just messed up, dude.
It's the G2 bias in our replay team right there. Not showing the end of the fight. It's a joke. That was a joke.
All right, Vitality, they're trying to do it again. Go for the flank, go for the fight.
Here we go. PerkZ isn't here. PerkZ doesn't have teleport. Here we go.
Oh, baby!
Jactroll jumps in straight away, but the Cosmic Radiance comes down. However, Wunder's already fallen now. Mikyx caught out of place, rooted up with the Rune Prison. Call of the Forge God doesn't connect. Caps with the huge
Here's
amount
PerkZ,
of damage, but here comes PerkZ. Comp You're the target, you're the idea, and Caps will take him out. Now PerkZ could die, got the perfect execution, decides against chasing any further. Cabochard getting chased out by Jankos. Caps already at 100 stacks. It's just going to rain hell on them from range. Saken dodges out from the last embrace with a flash. And now this should be it. The single Nexus Tower is down below half health. And G2 in 23 minutes are looking to end Vitality's day and end the week of the LEC.
But first they're going to wait for the minions. Wunder no TV to get into the base, but they're finally going to jump on forward here.
The dazzle lands, Cabochard tries to go in, gets a 4-man knockup, but Vitality just don't have the damage to answer. Jankos goes on a rampage. PerkZ trying to do what he can against Saken as Saken puts down the spell fluxes, and that is Jankos dead as well. And here comes the realm warp. Vitality are chasing in. The dazzle hits 2, but Mikyx can't find all 4, so he goes down. And now Caps should get out with the Curse of the Black Mist. I think he has the movement speed to get out of this.
I don't know. Vitality pretty mobile. They'd have to chase him for a long time, though, and don't want to keep up that chase with Wunder alive now and running back into the map. So Vitality live to fight another day. But will Saken? That's the question. Now, will Wunder actually getting taken down so low?
Healing coming out, though. Yet to see that Morellonomicon finished on Saken. Damage coming back. There's the Seraphs. Wunder's chasing Saken down, but Caps is going to fall. Wunder survives and now could quite easily win this 2v1. Skeanz just like, please get the hell away from me.
Oh no.
Here comes PerkZ. Skeanz, you don't have a kick to get PerkZ away. And PerkZ will happily accept his 6th kill of the game.
He wants comp too. Comp's like, wait, Cabo, can you help me? Can you help me? PerkZ still has that second charge, the ulti.
Oh.
That was instant death.
I mean, it could still be instant death. Jactroll goes in, there's the charm. PerkZ overextended, looking for the kill. Call of the Portugal's going to come down. Wunder uses the Sanguine Pool to get away from it, and we'll just walk away with that phase rush. It's got a bit messy, Ender.
Yesterday on PGL, we had Grabs as a guest, and he talked about how at the start of 2020, G2 weren't having enough fun in their games. It wasn't the 2019 G2 that was having fun. They're having a lot of fun in this game, Medic.
PerkZ has literally not got his hands on his keyboard right now, so just like, guys.
He's also dead, so like, what would he be doing?
I want him to be practicing mechanics, keeping his hands warm.
He just got practice tool open another tab. He's like, all right, let's go. Let's go. Mechanics.
Play some Uso. Is it Uso?
Osu.
Osu, that's the one.
Oh my God.
I don't play it, do I?
Obviously. Oh man. Well, in the downtime, I have to say, let's go on a bit of a side tangent, because I don't think they're going to go for the end right now.
That is Mounted Soul.
So I did some research, Medic.
Okay.
I was looking specifically at the most popular emotes in Twitch chat.
Okay, okay.
And I found out that Weird Champ is not #1.
I mean, obviously.
It's #5 right now.
Okay.
But I also have a lot of faith in Twitch chat that they can change that.
Yeah, because I think it needs to be like #7 or 8.
No, you're so wrong. You're so wrong. It's time.
Any cuties in Twitch chat out there? Yeah.
Wow, that was strange.
Strange
turn of events.
Asking them to say Weird Champ.
That's not strange. That's normal. Anyways, G2 back inside of the base. Can already tell what they're going to be typing right now, but G2 looking for the end right here.
Yeah, Wunder goes in. There's the Sanguine Pool already hitting for the Dawning Shadow coming out and really hasn't done too much damage yet, but here comes the chase. Call of the Forge God has been called, but Saken able to get away. The kick back will get Jankos down as well, but PerkZ is just going to open up. Caps doing the damage from long range here as well. And the inhibitors have respawned.
And they can't end the game.
Can't focus the Nexus. But in the end, they will.
Here we go.
Here goes Jactroll. The bullet time comes out and Caps is already dead. Wunder now on the back line. The Dazzle's going to come out and Jactroll should fall. Comp will go down as well. Mikyx fighting against Skeanz, but it's only Skeanz and Cabochard left alive. Cabo chased out by the rest of G2. PerkZ flash forward, couldn't quite get Skeanz, but now with the inhibitors down, G2 will start attacking that Nexus. And Vitality can do nothing about it. Cabochard has accepted his fate, dazzled up, the TP cancelled. And G2 want a little bit of icing on this cake they have made. Trying to get that final kill. Can't quite get.
Wait, they can respawn. They can actually kill them all.
PerkZ going to order it. There we go. G2 got the win. They sit atop the table with Fnatic and Origin.
Wow. G2 took about 10 minutes longer than I think they may have needed to in that game, but for G2, a win is a win, and they had fun, just like Grabs wanted them to. That's what really matters.
That's what really matters. By our powers combined, we make Captain G2, the team that has fun. They've got heart, they've got earth, wind, air, fire.
They've got PerkZ, Caps, Jankos, Wunder, Mikyx.
And Grabs. By his
guess.
powers combined.
I guess.
And Vitality, of course, it was not a game that they expected to win. I do want to say Jactroll, on his reintroduction to the team, did have some good engages. Some moments on the recovery.
He really tried, right? Like, Vitality were just trying to throw themselves towards G2 whenever they could find a numbers advantage, and ultimately G2 were just so darn strong that it was not going to be possible in the end. I just feel like this game basically came down to Jankos in the early game, just all over the map, bullying down in towards that bottom side, and then taking every objective too. Like, it was just super, super clean for the first like 15 minutes from G2. And then, you know, once they get that big of a lead, they have some fun with it.
They do. You can vote for Jankos in the Key Player of the Game vote at LEC on Twitter alongside Caps or Mikyx. And we'll see which one of them ends up winning. I think the next week we have some pretty darn important games, Ender.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I think it's Fnatic G2 next week, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got a whole lot of good ones. Because right now there's a couple different battles going on, I think, when we're looking at the playoff picture. The first is, who is actually the best team in Europe? Is it a G2 or a Fnatic, the ones that have risen to prominence? Origin, Misfits, a little bit behind them, we think. But then also, 5th, 6th, who is going to make it into those last two spots in week 7, 8, 9? That's what we get the pleasure of finding out and really setting us up for that playoff run.
And I really think we'll have much clearer picture on who is the best team in the LEC next week as G2 play Origin on Friday and Fnatic on Saturday. So some big top of the table
That's actually an insane weekend.
It's going to be an incredible weekend. But to wrap up this week, let's head over to Jankos and the LEC post-game lobby.
That was really fucking hard. What do you mean? We always knew.